Why hello there ladies, gentlemen and all variations thereupon. Today I'm going to be doing a project I've been planning for so long. It's going to be creating the living room of my dream. This is a massive project and something I'm incredibly intimidated by. Partly because the main part of it is going to be painting a giant mural on the wall, and I've never done anything in oil paints before, so this is going to be a brand new experiment of just learning as I'm going, trying to remember everything Bob Ross has said. The other thing is I've got a big blank wall, and you know what it's like when you have a big blank canvas that you've got to work on, got to try and fill. That in itself is intimidating. But I've also got an added problem in that, how do I film this? I'm the only person here. If I'm going to be facing the wall and painting, then you know, I'm going to be having my back to the camera. I'm going to have to work out some clever camera angles, which means it's probably going to be a lot of voiceover work, because trying to work sound and lighting and filming everything in a correct angle so you can actually see what I'm doing is going to be difficult. But there's a lot to do, and the end result is going to be, hopefully, that my living room shall look like Flower Fruit Mountain, which fans of the classics will know is the home of the Monkey King. Enough blathering on, let's just jump into it. Hello. Just covered the wall in a thin coat of liquid white, and therein lies the first problem, because he always says he covered the wall in a thin coat of liquid white. I don't know how thin. Is it supposed to be just thin enough that you can't really move it around, or is it supposed to be, you know, thin in terms of it's got paint thinner added? When I used the liquid white, I did mix it, but as I was going along it was getting thicker and thicker, so I don't know if that end's going to be better than that end. I had to add in a little bit of paint thinner on that end to try and make it work. But anyway, let's get back to the painting. We're just going to run the colours that we're going to use down the bottom of the screen there if you want to paint along. Don't know why you would want to paint along with an exact copy of what I have in my living room, but you're welcome to try. And to begin with, we're just going to take... I'm going to stop that voice now. Before I get accused of cultural appropriation. So, I'm going to start with the little bit of blue. No idea how much I'm supposed to be using, but then I'm going to use a little. I've already got it on the coping board. And I'm just using little cross motions here, because that's what he always does. And I'm going to try and leave some spaces for like cloud areas. Really I'm just focusing on trying to get the paint on the on the wall right now. So I've noticed it goes on a lot easier with less pressure. Now when it comes to cleaning the brush, obviously you want to dunk it in some paint thinner, and any fan of Bob Ross would know that the next thing you do is you beat the devil out of it, but that just sprays liquid paint everywhere. So what I've done, put a beanbag around an old lamp, and I'm going to use the pole of the lamp in order to beat the brush, and the beanbag should collect any of the waste that comes off. And then we beat the devil out of it. I need to do the thing where it cuts across and just gets a small roll of paint, so I can't get it to work. Anyway, now I'm going to have to try and make a mountain. Because what's Flower Fruit Mountain without the mountain? I think I worked it out, you've got to put it really thin before you cut. So, push it all out so it's thin, and then you do a cut along and you get a thin bit. Oh, that's it. Now I've got to work out how you get it on the wall properly, because at the minute I'm taking off more paint than I'm putting on. cramp in my hand. Ouch. Whew. Let's take a couple of minutes break while I wait for this cramp to go away.
But she never did. And it was at this point that I started thinking, oh gods, I'm ruining it. And at this point I was thinking, oh gods, I'm running out of paint. And this is where my camera ran out of power. I put it on charge for a little bit and then filmed a little bit more, but basically I was just starting to put on some happy little trees.
Okay, other than the power issues, I've also got an issue in that I'm running out of paint, and there's still a lot of like highlights and detail to do. So at the minute it just looks like one big block of colour. So I'm gonna have to get creative and like plan carefully. So I'm gonna put in main feature first and then highlight that and just worry about the edges another time. This is my very last bit of brown. It's been mixed in with black and green. Try and make it go a bit further. And the one thing anyone who knows anything about the Monkey King will know, other than being really good at fighting, the Monkey King loves peaches. So I'm going to try and do a peach tree, which will look a little bit like a cherry blossom, I think, because they're very similar in look. I'm just using a fan brush to mark out the branches, because I can use the edge of it to make a thinner line. And of course every tree needs a little friend, don't they? So mixing a little bit of the red with the white. I'm going to try see if I can some blossom on the leaves. I'll have a few little bits being blown off. Blowing it this way. Now I still have quite a large green area up here that doesn't have any detail on, so I'm going to try see if I can get some hint of a river coming through. Let's see if I can. Ross never used his fingers, but I'm not Bob Ross. forest. Gotta be far too far away to make out any detail, but and the power's nearly out of my camera again, so I'm just going to put lighter green highlights on a few of the plants and things just to try and bring them to the foreground. That's about it. Okay, so I finished up with that mostly. I was running out of paint, so I put the highlights on, but you know, they made a bit of a mess of it, so I was trying to do the best of what I got. Bonfire nights have started. Remember the 5th of November, gunpowder treason plot. I see no reason why gunpowder treason should ever be forgotten. That's right, the holiday where we commemorate the fact that we burnt a guy to death. Anyway, I've got still a big blank area of green in the middle, quite like how the peach blossom turned out. I can probably add some more detail to that later on once I think of what to do. Seriously underestimated the amount of oil paint that I'd need. But that wasn't the only thing that I was going to do. Fake grass in the living room? Even I think that's a bit silly. But I'm going to do it anyway. What is life if not an opportunity to have fun?
And my trick to cutting out a flush edge is to first cut a hole that is definitely too small, because that will allow me to push the fake grass closer to the edge of the fireplace. And then I'm going to use my usual method of multiple light passes to make a cleaner, straighter cut than trying to go through one hard hit all the way along.
And there we go. Laid out with plenty of books to weigh it down with. Unfortunately, even though I've got all the windows and doors open, the fumes in here are quite intense, so I'm going to leave and come back later. And so there we have it, or almost. The wall is largely complete, but as I was saying as I was going through, running out of paint, so I wasn't able to do all of the detail that I wanted to, which is both bad and good. Bad because it means I didn't get to finish and have the final project ready that I could show dramatically at the end, but I did manage to get the flooring down, which is brilliant as far as I'm concerned. That being said, I do have an opportunity now to problem solve. You see, the style of painting that Bob Ross does, or style that I was trying to emulate, slightly unsuccessfully, is called wet on wet painting, where you have the wet undercoat and then you put other paint on top and it allows it to flow more smoothly. Problem is now, by the time I've got more paint, that's going to be largely dry, so I either have to redo large chunks of it, which is going to be another cost because it means I've got to buy even more paint that I wouldn't necessarily need to, or try and find a new way of finishing up the wall, which is the method I'm going to go with. So there's going to be more of a mixed materials approach, I think. I don't think I'm going to do painting for the rest of it, at least I'm not planning on doing it. I might do some stuff with gilding, put some silver leaf on there. I think there's some areas that I could effectively put that in, but that large green block in the middle needs something in there. Now what I was intending to do was put another hill in the middle, which I sort of got to with the darker green and the lighter green, where there's supposed to be a hill between the two outcroppings of rock at the sides of the two cliff faces, have a green hill in the middle looking over a large green forest. Didn't get hardly any of the detail in the forest, but on that hill I think it would be quite nice if I could do some sort of representation of the Monkey King, if not the Monkey King, Tripitaka, Sandy and Pigsy. But you know, just something there, so it's like they're looking out towards the mountains from Flower Fruit Mountain. That's part of the plan. I'm going to try and do something like that for that centre hill, put some more of the details into the forest further back. I was going to put a lake in there, but I was running out of blue and I hadn't really painted it properly behind in order to do the proper paint on the lake and do reflection. But maybe I could do that with some other materials. and it's possible then I could build something that comes out of the painting but works in line with it. So some element of the painting that projects outwards, maybe put a tree with a branch that comes out and turn it into a shelf, so we get more of a 3D effect with maybe some furniture around. Once I put my Christmas tree up, which is going in the corner of that, then it'll blend in, which is why I did sort of the evergreen coniferous trees rather than big branchy trees. So anyway, that's where we're at now. The living room's almost done, so this is going to be a part 1, and there will be a part 2 because I've got a lampshade that I've got to make still, but I've run out of time to do this week. And I might put up another couple of shelves. There's definitely furniture I want to build, but that's not going to be for a very long time. And I do want to finish that wall, so I'm going to be thinking about what exactly to do to finish that. So there's all that to come. So if you're interested in any of that, be sure to stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe, all the things that YouTubers say. And I'll see you in the next video. You be in the next video? Sure you will be. Yeah, multiplying all the time. While I was painting that, another update.